Welcome to Althoff Catholic High School. This is Ehtar Soccer. I'm Colin Surrey alongside you tonight, just about to get into our national anthem before our matchup between AFC Columbia and your Ehtar Belleville Football Club. Really excited to bring this matchup to you. It was a dominant 3-0 win for Ehtar when these two teams took on one another in mid-Missouri out in Columbia, and Ehtar will look to put together another great performance coming off of a 2-0 win against their last opponent at De Smet Club Atletico. And we've got such a cool story to tell you about what happened at that match, before the match and throughout the match. See there, getting ready for that national anthem. A lot of stars on this field for Ehtar. They did sustain a key injury a couple of days ago. And, of course, you always wonder how will a team respond with a quick turnaround after playing just a couple of days ago. Dominic Bartoni went down for Ehtar. They will plug and place some really talented guys for him. Yaya Noganga getting set to take the field, a fan favorite here for Ehtar. Let's go through some of those star players on each side. First for Ehtar, obviously Noganga, a fan favorite we just mentioned. Michael Hodgson has been in some kind of special form of late. You know what you're getting from Jermaine Mentor. Steady, dependable, and that man right there in the 4 jersey, Anton Mosley, has been working in perfect tandem in the back end with Jermaine Mentor. Ready for that national anthem. We'll let you enjoy it here on Prepcast.
Performing today is Anakin Trexler, a multi-instrument musician from Collinsville, here today representing his band No Sin, No Virtue. He is also proud to be honoring his father's legacy as an alum of Althoff Catholic High School.
Great stuff right there with our national anthem. Let's run through those starting lineups as they are announced by Trent, our PA man, here at Althoff Catholic High. AFC Columbia will go with Toby Hughes in net. Gabe Halston, Gershom Lobo, Travis Smith, Jacob Moore, a man to watch out for. He is that star player for AFC Columbia. Ehtar will have to have a plan to keep Moore marked in this game. Paul Morpurgo in the starting lineup, along with Luis Anchita, Parker Murphy, Nadim Sarahila, and Samuel Apia to go along with Carter Redford, the starting 11 for AFC Columbia. Ehtar Belleville will go with Anton Mosley, Michael Hodgson, Yaya Noganga, Luca Bartoni in the starting lineup, along with Jermaine Mentor, Alex Peters. Gibson Hunt has been in special form of late. Gavin English, Adam Boykin, speedster in the attacking position, and Hunter Vetter is the goalkeeper for Ehtar. Tyler Sargent also in that starting lineup for Ehtar. Jermaine Mentor there on the right side of your screen with the captain's armband.
Number 4, defender Anton Mosley. Number 2, defender.
Get a look at Gibson Hunt in the middle next to that keeper. Hunter Vetter to the right of him. Gavin English to his left. There's Anton Mosley. Luca Bartoni, the brother of Dominic, going to try to star in his stead. Adam Boykin there on the in the center of your screen. To Boykin's left is Alex Peters, and then there is Yaya at the end of the line, the starting lineup for Ehtar. Also skipped over next to Jermaine Mentor. To the left of him is Michael Hodgson, and then Tyler Sargent right next to him. Excited to get this one going between these two teams. So we talked a little bit about some of that star power possessed by each team on each side. Obviously, a big key to this one for Ehtar is to contain Jacob Moore, the captain for AFC Columbia. But for Ehtar, after a dominant 3-0 performance on the road against this team, start strong. Be on that front foot. Look for Ehtar to really be aggressive to begin this match and not let Columbia think that they have a chance at coming back in this one. There's the Mummy squad getting ready to go to work here. What a tremendous crowd we have tonight here in Belleville, Illinois. Just a few, maybe about 20 minutes or so outside of St. Louis, Missouri, on the east side of the Mississippi. I'm Colin Surrey once again alongside you. We're going to hear from Tom Franklin, the soccer zombie, at halftime. He's in attendance documenting this one, and be excited to hear what he thinks of what we've seen in the first half. And, of course, huge shout-out to our tremendous cameraman, Sam Murin. AFC Columbia in the blue kits. Ehtar comes out in the white jerseys, green trunks, as we get ready to go. Columbia starts us. Noganga gives chase. And we are underway from Althoff Catholic. MWPL action. Ehtar currently atop the standings in the Gateway South. Lenoma FC leads in the north, and we'll break down those standings probably at halftime a little bit more. Noganga sends that one out over the far sideline, but it did graze a Columbia player, so Ehtar will toss it in. Gibson Hunt, we told you, in some special form of late. The Troy, Illinois native who played at Triad, a special freshman season at Umsel, just across the river on the north side of St. Louis. We'll talk quite a bit about him. It's been fun to watch that young man blossom right before our eyes. Mentor sends one down the far sideline. Boykin giving chase. And a good job to get to that one by Anchita, the junior from Sao Paulo, Brazil. Here's Hodgson sending one through the middle. He found English, but English unable to settle it cleanly enough to get a look at net. AFC Columbia will look to break out. That's been about the only vulnerability we have seen all year long from this Ehtar team that is 4-1-1 on the season. That counterattack can sometimes be vulnerable. Now Luca Bartoni coming downhill. He'll lay it out wide. Hunt trying to run underneath it, but nice defense here from Samuel Appia using his speed to get in front of Gibson and earn the throw-in for Columbia. And Cheeto will throw it in. He's made a few stops in his collegiate career. Started at Thomas University, then went to Oral Roberts in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and spent this last season at Limestone University in Gaffney, South Carolina. That is pretty close to Spartanburg, where Wofford is located. Little step over move. Boykin trying to center it up. Popped out, but still inside the box. Noganga gets it back to Sargent. Sargent, good find for Peters. Peters working to this near sideline. Able to outrace the defender and keep possession. What a beautiful ball. English working the end line. Deflected, and it's in the net. Luca Bartoni provides that hot start for Ehtar. Just what we asked for, and Luca Bartoni delivers. The St. Louis kid out of CBC, starring at Maryville University, has been off to a great start in his collegiate career. Just finished up his junior season. He's got 4 goals and 6 assists already to his credit at that Division II school. Bartoni makes it 1-0 Ehtar. What a start for the Mummy squad. Columbia will work it through that back line, and that is a dream start for this Ehtar squad. Now let's see what they do in response to that opening goal. We saw just a tremendous job by Ehtar a couple of nights ago on the road against Club Atletico. A 2-0 start in the first half, and it could have been even more than that, generating all kinds of excellent looks. This Ehtar team has come together in a huge way down the stretch, and that's exactly what you want to see. Are you playing your best soccer when it matters most? The answer is yes right now for Ehtar. Ehtar entered today atop the standings, we told you, with 13 points. However, Boffs took down STL Development Academy by a 2-1 score. So Ehtar will need those 3 points to maintain pace. As Boffs came in with 12 points, they're now up to 15. Ehtar can reclaim that top spot with 3 more points of their own. Another nice ball out wide. English trying to center one up just beyond Bartoni. Boykin got a foot to it, but it was blocked in front of the net. And Ehtar continuing to threaten. They will throw it in from across the far sideline. Peters is going to come over and take it. A little bit surprised by that. Gavin English has been the man to do these throw-ins, and it will indeed be Alex Peters. Alex Peters from right here in St. Louis, another CBC kid. He was a first-team All-Stater and an All-American when he was a cadet. Tosses it in, and that one might have caught a piece of the keeper, Toby Hughes. Nothing he could have done about that first goal as Luca Bartoni stuffed it in the back of the net to provide the score you see on your screen right now. Gibson Hunt runs it down in the back end, but Gibson will not be afraid to go on the attack and make some aggressive runs. His speed is tremendous, but I believe even better than that top-line speed for Gibson Hunt is his agility and creativeness with the ball at his feet. Long one headed towards English, and a good job by the defense of Columbia to thwart that attempt. Carter Redford distributing through that back line. And now Columbia will try to gain some sort of momentum here. However, Jermaine Mentor is not the guy to try to do it against as he chases that Columbia player towards the far corner. Hunt got a foot on that one. Mentor combining to send it over the sideline. It will be a Columbia throw. Player down for Columbia. Looks like that might be Apia. Couple of heel stomps, and he appears good to go. Columbia tosses in towards the 6. Mosley got to it first. Weak shot goes wide, but it was covered, and it went out. It will be a goal kick. No, they award the corner, and now Appia will go out to take it. Samuel set to swing it in with a left foot. Low bouncer, Hunt, a partial clear. Now it comes out of the box. Columbia feeding another one in there. Sargent sends it towards the sideline. Nice play there by Tyler Sargent. And that was deflected. No, it was not. It's a goal kick for Ehtar. Hunter Vetter is the man in net. Just finished up his freshman season at Blackburn College, north of here on the Illinois side. He is from Albers, Illinois, where he went to Breeze Central. 75% saves, 1.64 goals against average for Vetter over this past season. Gibson Hunt fires up the sideline. Noganga trying to turn on it. Nice job by the last line of defense. Looked like that was Marpurgo that may have gotten ahead to it. No, excuse me, it was Jacob Moore. Here's Noganga. Through ball was too heavy. Boykin, in his speed, unable to catch up to that one. Adam Boykin, a former state champion at Edwardsville High School in the 4x1. Move up the sideline here from Lobo. And that one, easy work for Vetter. Lobo, an impressive guy. He is the director for advancement of Mizzou Business School. You know, he's got a good idea for leadership and getting everybody organized. All the way back to net for Toby Hughes. The Jeff City native rolls it out. And this Columbia team is made up of mostly of Columbia College players. Columbia College has been a dominant American Midwest Conference team. That is NAIA. Harris Stowe in that conference as well. Been a really good program. As well as many other local schools that have provided talent to this league. Gibson Hunt with a run up the far sideline. Centering attempt is shooed away, and the clear as Mosley goes up to win it. What a great job by Anton Mosley. We talked about not only Jermaine Mentour in the back line, but Anton Mosley's emergence on this team has been something special to watch. He spent his freshman year at SIUE, did not get any playing time, but you'd have to think that Cale Wasserman, the head coach for the Cougars, is taking note of what he has seen from Mosley this offseason. Back-to-back NCAA appearances for that SIUE team. They went 8-1-1 in OVC this past season. A dominant finish on their way to the NCAAs once again. That one goes out. A misplay by Parker Murphy. He is one of those Columbia kids. He went to Battle High School. And now Ehtar will throw another in. Gibson Hunt comes to take it. Oh, boy, that's a bad turnover. Gavin English looking to take advantage. He's got options. It's Bartoni again, but a big-time save made by Toby Hughes.
If you're ready to gear up, swing on by the merch stand and pick up your official jersey.
A couple of SLIAC foes going at it between the pipes for these two teams. Toby Hughes played at Westminster. 3,382 minutes during his time, a 72% save percentage, a 1.76 goals against average in 35 starts over the course of 43 games. It is a corner kick upcoming for Ehtar. Boykin is going to be the man to take it. Adam Boykin spent his last collegiate season at Eastern Illinois, where he scored a couple of goals, One of those a game winner against Western Illinois. Swings it in with a right foot, but didn't get enough underneath it as it was headed away by Luis Anchita. Noganga thought about a quick restart, and instead he'll give way to Alex Peters. Peters set to toss it. Comes right back his direction. That's a good ball in. Oh, and Mosley almost had the goal. Another great save by Toby Hughes. Hughes stands at just 5'9". Typically, you see those goalkeepers of a large stature. English with another turnover. Bartoni couldn't get a clean piece of it. However, not out of danger yet. English battling on this near side and finally cleared away. It looks like a foul was called there as Jacob Moore tried to do everything he could to prevent the chance. Told you that Jacob Moore is the man to look out for Columbia. However, the pressure has been so intense from Ehtar, they have not been able to get him going offensively. The Ashland, Missouri native left Southern Boone as the all-time goals leader in program history. Also had that mark in assists and single-season goals. Started his collegiate career at East Central College, where he was a second-team All-American and finished up at Oakland University. That's a Division I school where he had a game-winning goal against Belmont during one of his years there at Oakland. English tosses it in. Toby Hughes got a piece of it, not cleared totally. Peters with a long shot over the bar and maybe wide as well. Alex Peters on that latest attempt. He has been really busy. We have seen him playing a winger position. He is parked in the midfield for this one as Gibson Hunt has really shown a great ability to work that sideline. Why not have him in that role along with Tyler Sargent? Of course, you lose a guy like Dominic Bartoni, and it kind of changes the formula for everything that you want to do if you are Ehtar. Great ball by Noganga to get it to Hodgson, and look out, he makes excellent decisions. Boykin lays it out wide. It's Hunt, centering attempt. Oh, and a great job there by Moore to get rid of it. Here's Peters. Back out to Hunt. He'll let it go. Out for the Columbia throw. Knew he was offside, so just let it trickle over the touchline. But an excellent start for Ehtar in this one. Opening goal came from Luca Bartoni. Happy to have you along with us for Ehtar Soccer on Prepcast. Vetter sends it back towards midfield, right back Hunter's way, and he'll settle it down and fire it out here to Yaya Noganga. Little heel flick back to Sargent. The Umsel product sends a long one towards Boykin, and Cheetah there to make the nice play for Columbia. Appio works back for it. Now Redford through the middle, out wide, but a little miscommunication, and Hunt will just watch it go out for the Ehtar throw. Boykin comes for Noganga. He's got a runner in Sargent. English try to get it back to Yaya, but not quite enough on that one. And subsequently too heavy for Lobo to catch up to it, who has been a coach at Hazelwood, girls head coach and an assistant coach for the boys team. Moore runs it down in this near corner. Columbia trying to avoid falling down multiple goals in the first half here after Bartoni put the first one on them. Redford out wide to the far side. Hunt, nice defensive play to send it out. The development of Gibson Hunt, you just cannot say enough about it. The 5'8" defender had a special freshman season at Umsel where he scored 2 goals and had 3 assists. He's got potential superstar written all over him. 14 starts in 18 games with the Tritons for Gibson Hunt this past season. Jermaine Mentor, the South African, always solid as can be in the back end. Marpurgo goes back with it. Moore had Noganga steal it away from him. English able to get it to Hodgson, who pops it straight up in the air. Peters working back to get it to Mentor. And now Bartoni looks to make something happen, waiting for a miscue, but it does not come. Solid play made in the back end that time by Columbia. Now you see some speed on display here from Gabe Halston. He's a former McKendree Bearcat where Michael Hodgson played his collegiate soccer. Noganga playing it towards the corner, and now the speed of Gibson Hunt on display. What a beautiful ball that was by Noganga, and thought that was going to be a corner kick, but Hunt unable to earn the call. It's a goal kick. Toby Hughes getting set to send it away. He elects to play it short. Into the 18th minute here in the first half action. An early goal in the first few minutes by Ehtar. Mentor called for the foul right there as he ran up the back of Morpurgo. Morpurgo, a Columbia College product, two-time AMC All-Academic selection. Morpurgo, from Columbia, Missouri, played at Hickman High School. That'll be guided out by Mosley for the Ehtar goal kick. Anton Mosley, an interesting background. His dad, a U.S. military service member. His mom is Russian, and as a result, Anton has spent time in Colorado, Illinois, and California stateside. Also in Russia, Germany, and South Korea. So you can bet that's a young man with some serious perspective, not only with his soccer experience, but just in life in general. And you love to have those guys on your team to help bring that diverse experience and perspective to the table. Here's Anton with it right now. Comes for Hodgson. Hodgson, a coach for McKendree this past season, on their way to a national semifinal appearance. What an unbelievable season it was for McKendree. And the calling card for those McKendree teams was goal prevention. And we have seen that translate to this Ehtar team. They have just been outstanding defensively. In the finishing had been kind of the one issue for this Ehtar team. They were able to generate high-quality chances, but unable to put it in the back of the net in the early going. That has changed in a big way over the course of these last few matches. It's an Ehtar throw upcoming. Boykin working the touchline and a takedown move by Anchita. I understand there's some UFC going on tonight, maybe on this pitch as well. English able to get past one. That was Moore trying to sell out for it. English centering attempt behind Bartoni, and that will go out for a deep throw in for Ehtar. Columbia feeling the heat in this first half. However, after some rain yesterday, the temperature has dropped down a little bit. However, the humidity is making up for that. Cloud cover preventing the sun from making it even steamier as Alex Peters gets set to toss another one in. Peters began his collegiate career at DePaul, and he's now at St. Charles Community College. Pinballs around just inside the 6. That was a dangerous one right there, and Hunt comes to win it. Back into the mixer. Oh, Mentor almost had it, but it skips by for the goal kick. A great look there for Jermaine Mentor. Chip to midfield. Boykin. Incredible skill to win that ball. However, he could not connect with Hunt over the sideline. Columbia will throw in and bring on a sub all in one motion. Parker Murphy is going off. And coming on is Diego Umana. Diego Umana into the game for Columbia. Headed out for a Columbia throw. Long ball, and no chance there for Lobo to catch up to it. As Ehtar looks to build up another attack. Again, huge shout out to our extremely talented cameraman, Sam Murin. He's up on the rooftop getting all the great shots you see tonight. Mentor looking for an option. Sargent comes in to win that ball. Lobo looking to control as Ehtar collapses down on him. Boykin wins it. Hodgson now quickly over to Peters. Alex, another square ball out to Gibson Hunt. Hunt looking to put the moves on. Good job defensively right there. We have not seen many defenders hang with Gibson Hunt the way that Samuel Apia just did right there. However, Alex Peters is going to get another chance at that throw-in. He's had a few dangerous ones in the early going. Peters winds and throws. Headed wide of the net, off the side of the netting. But it will be a corner. Question is who will go out to take it for Ehtar. Looks like it'll be Adam Boykin once again. Boykin was named Conference Player of the Week to open up the season for Ehtar. He is a special player. Talked about his speed. He's a finisher as well. That one goes on to the baseball field beyond for a throw-in. This time Gavin English is going to take it. In the last home match for Ehtar, Gavin English assisted on 2 goals in this fashion. Belleville kid got it near the 6, off the post. Almost a 2-0 lead for Ehtar. Wow. Off the inside of that right post. Gavin English, after spending his freshman season at Southern Indiana, told you he is a local product from right here in Belleville. He played at Belleville East for his dad, Ronald. Started 13 of the 17 games. That one headed away. Almost another one for Ehtar. And Cheetah, the last line of defense. And now it comes back out to English. He'll guide it out and take another throw-in. Ehtar putting some serious pressure on. English. This will be a corner kick, I believe. Yes. Here comes Noganga to take it. Yaya, a long-time Ehtar standout. Noganga played collegiately for Murray State College and then Southwestern Illinois College. Right foot to it. Peters put it off the post and it goes in. It's Luca Bartoni again.
Goal, Ehtar FC. Number 11, Luca Bartoni.
Luca Bartoni on fire to begin this match. Have another look. He puts it in the top shelf, and Toby Hughes palms to the sky, telling his guys, what am I supposed to do about that one? What a goal for Luca Bartoni. The finishing touch to make it 2-0. Ehtar continues their hot start. The goal differential now on the season for Ehtar is +8. This team has become dominant, like we talked about, gaining form at the correct time, learning how to play with one another, and it is showing in a huge way. Moore plays it back. Columbia needing some sort of momentum here. However, Noganga looking to create again. Here's Gibson Hunt working with Noganga. A little give and go action up the far sideline. And now Hunt, shot out of a cannon, gets it out to Mosley out wide. And Cheetah runs over it. Did he get a touch on that? No, he did not. It's a goal kick upcoming. Phenomenal stuff from Ehtar. Again, this is a team coming off of a match just 48 hours ago, and you would not be able to tell with the energy that they have brought to Althoff Catholic High School tonight. Hodgson working hard to get that one back to Mosley. That's the work ethic that made Michael Hodgson a mainstay on that McKendree University team. How about the trust that was given to Michael Hodgson under his head coach, Scott Gillenborg? Hodgson, over the course of his career at McKendree, played a total of 5,812 minutes. That's 97 hours of soccer, folks, as we get another corner kick for Ehtar. Trying to get it to Bartoni again. He's looking for a first-half hat trick. It's going to be Yaya Noganga coming out to take the corner once again. Noganga showed off some serious skill on the road against this Columbia team. He's at it again at home. Noganga to the back post, but a good job by Travis Smith to get to it right before Jermaine Mentor was likely going to put that in the back of the net. Jermaine Mentor, not only the standout center back for this Ehtar team, he led them in goals last season. Told you Mentor is from South Africa, Cape Town to be exact. Began his collegiate career at St. Charles Community College, where he was a first-team All-American and then finished up at Lindenwood. English, unhappy with himself as he tossed that one all the way out over the end line. Lobo couldn't get the touch on it that he wanted, and Sargent gets it up towards English. Moore works back for it, though. Told you that this guy is just tremendous. Jacob Moore trying to work along this near sideline, but again, the pressure of Ehtar wins another one at midfield. It's Sargent getting it there. Noganga trying to get it over to English. However, it was cut off that time. Nice job by Gabe Halston. Gabe Halston is from St. Louis, Missouri, where he started Oakville. He made the American Midwest Conference All-Tournament team this past season at Columbia College. At McKendree, over the course of his first 2 years in college, he had 3 goals and 2 assists. Great Lakes Valley soccer is extremely high level. Halston is a special player, and Columbia putting a lot of that talent in their back line, knowing that they cannot allow this to extend to a larger lead than it already is. Halston sends it up the sideline. Sargent got it to Boykin. Now Mosley over for Hunt. Here's Peters at midfield. Noganga. Back for Hodgson. Now we will see this patient approach from Ehtar. This is, in my opinion, why we have seen this Ehtar team take off. Instead of being ultra aggressive when they win those balls at midfield, which they have been tremendous at this year, they are doing a much better job of surveying, understanding where the next play is. Hodgson disagreeing with that call. And now a long one sent up ahead. Hunt makes no mistake with that one. Mentor trying to clear, but Columbia had it tackled away by Hodgson right into the chest of Adam Boykin. Inadvertent contact with the arm is ruled right there, and a play on as Ehtar looks to go on the counter. Boykin runs out of real estate there as it was run under by Anchita. Nice job by Luis turning on the Jets. And Cheetah up the far sideline now, looking to unlock some space behind his lead man in Halston. And now trying to get by Sargent. That shot is blocked in front and cleared away over the touchline by Alex Peters. And who was it to block it? None other than Jermaine Mentor. Morpurgo looking for a chance to break free offensively here. Toss in from Halston. At the top of the 18, Morpurgo plays it out wide, and Anchita caught way too much of that one through the American football uprights. What a start for Ehtar here in the first half. Luca Bartoni responsible for both of the Ehtar goals. Here is Luca with it. Melo Mensa, a Lindenwood to Umsel connection over his collegiate career. He's from the Chicagoland area out of Plainfield. Columbia a foul there. The restart came from Halston. Smith looking up ahead with it. Not much space to work with here for Nadim Sarahila. Sarahila is from St. Louis, Missouri, and started at Lindbergh High School, not too far away from Oakville, where Halston played, and what a great play by Gabe right there. That is the ball skill that made him stand out to me the first couple of years he spent at McKendree. He was an impressive prospect, in my opinion. A little bit surprised to see him transfer out. Of course, told you that Halston had an excellent season this last year at Columbia College. Halston up to Morpurgo. Out wide, centering attempt is cut off by Michael Hodgson. He read that one like a book. Halston getting set to throw it in. Sub coming on here for Columbia. And now ready for play as Halston tries to get it to that freshly entered sub. And that sails over everyone's head, asking for a corner. It will be given to Columbia. New man on the pitch for Columbia is Keller Rodriguez. Let's give a moment to give a huge shout out to the owners here at Ehtar. Joe Roach, Tiger Thomas, Pat White, Sean White, Tara Radford, Aletha Rice, Brian Sorge, John Thurlow, BT, and Ian Thurlow. Doing amazing work here at Ehtar. This is a special, special program. Loose in front, Jermaine Mentor. Who else to get it out of there? Hodgson denies that attempt. Halston putting the moves on. Sargent able to get rid of it. Melo Mensa looking to do some work. Mensa up the sideline trying to get past Halston. Halston able to ward him off. Nicely done by Gabe Halston. Hodgson had a defender run up his back, but he won the ball anyway. Luca Bartoni, 2 goals already in this first half. What a beautiful ball for Hodgson. He maybe wasn't quite expecting it. Noganga trying to get it back out wide. He runs under that one himself, but Halston wins another. After the jersey pull, he earns the call. "39th minute, first half action. Ehtar has been dominant in every facet of the game thus far. Oh, boy, Noganga had it saved. Oh, my goodness. Toby Hughes has made 3 excellent saves in this first half. It could be a lot worse than 2-0. A corner kick now upcoming for Ehtar. Muhammad Hamad is going to come over and take it. Mo will put his left foot to it. Swings it in and headed right back his direction. It goes out over the touchline. It'll be a throw this time with Peters coming over to take it. Let's see if Peters can get something going here. Dangerous ball comes to ground, deflected on its way out, and Ehtar is able to win it back. They come all the way back for Sargent. He plays it to this near side for Alex Peters. Oh, what a move to get one defender all the way down to the turf. Here's Mo Hamad. Mo had it deflected just outside the 18. It's Mensa putting some moves on. Mello feeds it through. Bartoni A shot and another great save by Hughes. Toby Hughes continues to star for AFC Columbia. Again, at just 5'9", he has shown a tremendous ability to cover a lot of ground in net. Hunter Vetter at 5'11", told you that these two players in the same conference in the SLIAC Division III soccer. Mosley up for Noganga. Anton Mosley just looks the part out there. And now Hodgson has dropped into a defending role. He gets it up to Sargent. Sargent out to the Mo Nato, but he was offsides as he gets run up on at the last second. Mo Hamad ruled to be off by maybe just a half step. Nice move from Anchita, the Brazilian, looking for a long connection, but Rodriguez not quite fast enough to catch up to that one. Looked like a handball there for Columbia, but no call comes. Hodgson popping it towards the 18, making Hughes think about it. Noganga couldn't get a clean look at it. He was shielded by Travis Smith that time. Travis Smith from Jefferson City, Missouri, not too far away from Columbia. He started Jeff City High School. Smith turns it over. Oh, my goodness. Noganga couldn't quite settle it cleanly. Now out wide for Hamad. Hodgson, a little too much on that one. It'll be a goal kick. Can tell that Michael wants that one back. So despite the dominant score we see on the scoreboard here at 2-0, Ehtar has had some chances go by the wayside here over these last 15 minutes or so. Still a heck of a first half thus far. Just owning the possession, and these midfield 50-50 balls have been all Ehtar. Hamad got run up on. It'll be a play on for Gibson Hunt. Hunt surveying as he stalks his prey up the end line. Hughes taps it to himself. What an athletic play by Toby Hughes. Another Jeff City High School product. You can bet that he and Smith understand exactly how to play with one another in that back end. Mosley will guide it to Vetter well off his line. He collects it in the corner of the box. Rolls it for Mentour, and he gave it away. That's a rare misplay by Mentour. Long shot is an easy save there for Hunter Vetter. Honestly, I think that is the only mistake I have seen Jermaine Mentour make all season. That's the kind of consistency that Ehtar gets from their captain. He's got it at his feet again. I really mean that truthfully. It's been a display that is hard to describe how impressive Jermaine Mentour is. Vetter for Hodgson, nearly into stoppage time now here in the first half, and Ehtar a little more conservative than we've seen. Mensah gets it over for Bartoni. Ehtar looking for another push here at the end of the half. Luca trying to split the defenders, but they wall him off. Couple of minutes of stoppage time here at the end of the first half. Hodgson sends it away over this near sideline. Columbia throw-in upcoming. Oh, look at the moves from the soccer zombie there on the sideline. We're going to hear from him in a minute at halftime. Document those moves. Mo Nato trying to run underneath it. Good job to win that ball by Sarahila. It is an Ehtar throw, however, with just precious moments remaining in this first half. Luca Bartoni responsible for both Ehtar goals. They get it up to Luca from Hunt, and Columbia will throw. Halston sends it deep. Jermaine Mentour gets it for Tyler Sargent. Sargent back to Mentour. Jermaine sends it out over the touchline at midfield. Shout out to the ball boys we've got here at Ehtar. Some serious athleticism on display by that youngster. Might see him starring in this league one day. Mentour goes up for it first at 6'2", and that is the final whistle here in the first half. Luca Bartoni has made it 2-0 Ehtar at the break, the same score Ehtar had it at in their last win over Club Atletico. And before we take this break, we want to shout out Club Atletico and their head coach, Ricky Garza. They presented Ehtar with a ball stand that is all dressed up in Ehtar colors with our man Patrick Hulling, who so devastatingly passed away over this last season, and we have had him in our hearts, and we know he's been here with us in spirit every step of the way, and we know he's smiling down as Ehtar has put themselves in position to maintain their first place position in the Gateway Conference South. We'll hear from the Soccer Zombie at halftime. We'll get our PA man Trent over here as well. That's coming up next, so don't go anywhere. This is Ehtar Soccer. Just about ready for the start of the second half. This is that ball holder that we were telling you about with Patrick. Man, just to see his face, his smile lights up a room. Amazing guy. We miss him dearly here at Ehtar, and we know this whole Ehtar family is always thinking about Patrick Hulling. Great guy and just a huge part of what Ehtar has been able to do again, along with Joe Roach, Tiger Thomas, Pat White, Sean White, Tara Radford, Aletha Rice, Brian Sorjay, John Thurlow, BT, and our guy Ian Thurlow. We now welcome in Soccer Zombie on YouTube. How we doing, brother?
Doing great. It is always a good time when we can be here at Ehtar. They do it right here. I mean, just enjoyed one of their many fabulous food trucks that they have here. It was fantastic pops. And so, you got ice cream, but then you put it into a popsicle format. Makes it less messy, but no less tasty.
It looked amazing. I had the burger before the game from Man That's Good, and it lived up to the title. It was amazing, seasoned perfectly. I mean, you can't beat it. Got to come out to these Ehtar games and get some of the tremendous entertainment and food that is provided
And not just that, but merch. I mean, you got the merch game going on here, the brand new Ehtar Scars, which I would put up against any club at this level in the nation, honestly. It just chef's kiss.
Tremendous. And, again, that's a shout-out to the names that I just went through. You will not, in my opinion, find anyone that is more passionate about their organization and the program that they have put together here at Ehtar, and it's translated to the play out on the field. And speaking of that play, here we go in the second half. And as we get going, Soccer Zombie, what'd you think of that dominant first half from Ehtar?
I mean, honestly, I'm kind of surprised that we are going into this half not talking about how it's not a 5-0 lead at this point, which you do have to give some credit to AFC Columbia, though, because as many mistakes as they generated in their own end, their goalie was up to the task. Even their other defenders doing a really good job at heading those balls in the box, clearing the ball off the line. I mean, it's probably more work than they want to do tonight, but it's keeping this within arm's reach for Columbia.
Toby Hughes has been special. Columbia trying to get an attack on here, but Mosley cuts that down quickly. Only partially cleared, though. Just outside the 18, there's that man we told you to look out for more, but Mentor turns it away over the touchline, over the far sideline. Soccer Zombie, what has impressed you most about this Ehtar team from what you've seen?
Well, honestly, it is just they look like a pretty well-oiled machine out there, especially on offense. It's not a look from Ehtar that I'm necessarily used to. I was going to games last year, and, of course, last year was a bit of a struggle, obviously, but I had a good feeling when they announced Tim Mosby as the new head coach because I was the former public address announcer for St. Charles FC. I was also a season ticket holder for St. Charles FC, and so I'm very well aware of Tim Mosby and how good of a leader he is, how good of a coach he is, how he gets his players to buy in and also improve. And I think that affects the players that he's able to lure over here to Ehtar just because he has that rep.
And they always say that a team takes on the personality of their coach. Tim is a fiery, passionate guy, just like the people here at Ehtar. You get birds of a feather flocking together, and the players have responded in kind. It's been a really fun thing to watch. And, boy, this guy over here that has the ball at his feet, Tyler Sargent, has been impressive. We've got a man down for Columbia in the meantime. But, another thing that has been impressive to me about this Ehtar team is that you can point to impact players at every level of the field, and that's what's made them so consistent over these last 5 matches.
Oh, it definitely has. And, it was something that I remember talking to Tim Mosby at the Boffs game that was here. And one thing that he had mentioned was that this was game number, I think this was the first game of the year for them, period. And they only had 3 or 4 practices. that together. Then they got to go out and play a soccer game, and it kind of looked like that. But I just had faith that he would get these boys on the right track, and really really solid work today. You mentioned Tyler Sargent, number 23 out there. He's been making bombing runs up that right wing all game long, and really, there's so many impressive players. I mean, of course, we haven't even mentioned Adam Boykin yet.
Gosh, what a special guy. I mean, talent to burn with the speed to go along with the ball skill. He's up at Eastern Illinois for a reason, scoring a couple of goals this last season. Columbia looking to break out here. Here's more with it. Jacob looking for an option, and he finds it up the far sideline, but the speed of Sargent cuts that one down. It will be a Columbia throw.
And, Boykin is kind of one of those stories where you look at a guy like his talent, former St. Louis City Academy player, and you wonder, how did he land at Ehtar? How did he land, of all teams, Ehtar? Well, I talked to him before the game, Colin, and he mentioned that this is his hometown. This is his hometown club, and the fact of the matter is that he had an opportunity to come here in the first place. And sometimes that's all that matters is, just giving a player an opportunity. And now Adam can star here for a good team and not have to miss any of that home cooking.
Already a Conference Player of the Week nod under his belt so far this season, as Mosley got to that one. New sub on here for Ehtar. Jake Pollock into the game for Ehtar as that one goes out over the far sideline. Depth of this Ehtar team going to be needed today, again, coming off of a game just a couple of days ago. Gibson Hunt, a tremendous play inside the box, and now Ehtar looking to break out. It's Yaya Noganga with a head of steam. Out to the speedster Boykin on the near side. Through ball up ahead, not quite enough to catch up to it for Jake Pollock. Newly entered, but couldn't quite catch up to it. We saw Columbia turn to quite a few subs in the first half. Ehtar with more in their back pocket should be an advantage for them moving forward in the second half.
Yep, get some fresh legs out there. I mean, it's not as imperative today because it is, getting to be kind of nice out there weather-wise. But as you said, they just played that game 2 days ago against Atletico, big 2-0 win, but they needed their best for that one.
And they were impressive, had that 2-0 lead in the first half and kind of hung on in the second half. Let's see what they do here. Almost a goal. It's Gavin English right above the bar.
We've seen that a few times from Ehtar today, just a little unlucky on those header placements. They rattled the woodwork 2 times. The last time they did get the goal on that one going just a little bit over. Again, it's kind of indicative of how much they're dominating, and yet the scoreboard doesn't quite reflect that.
And again, that's been a theme, a talking point that we've really mentioned all year long, is that when this team was struggling, and even now that they've turned it on, they could be even more dominant than what we're seeing, and there's still time to realize that dominance. Gibson Hunt has just been unbelievable of late. He gets one right in front of the box, but unable to settle that cleanly. Pollock had it trickle away from him, and Columbia will try to get something going here in the second half. Jermaine Mentor turning on the Jets. Vetter well off his line to get to it. Knocked out of play. It will be an Ehtar throw over the far side. So you've been all over the MWPL. How do you rate the atmosphere here at Ehtar?
Honestly, Ehtar is really right up there. I mean, you arrive, you go, you get your ticket at the ticket booth, you walk right in, you see the beer garden, you see the food trucks, you see the merch tent. We do have a drummer on hand, for this one. I mean, it's an incredible atmosphere and incredible community here.
Yeah, that drummer, his name is Reed. He's the son of John Thurlow, and not only is he a great drummer, He was putting on a show with the sax in pregame as well, a talented saxophonist.
Oh, he is someone that if you ever go out to the beer garden and you get a bite to eat from the food truck, you might get serenaded with a performance on the saxophone by Reed.
Talent overflowing here at Ehtar. It extends beyond the pitch. Luca Bartoni couldn't quite keep that one in his vicinity. Mentor marking Columbia on the far side, and he gets the better of Parker Murphy. We saw Murphy go down in the first half. Good to see him back up and running. Boykin had it knocked out. That was Anchita sending it over the sideline. Ehtar throw. Nogenga out to Michael Hodgson, and Michael Hodgson might not show up huge in the stat sheet. He did have a beautiful assist in that Atletico game just a couple of days ago, but he is one of the engines that makes this team run. As English almost set up a great chance there, and a little bit of a risky dribble inside the box there from Columbia, but they'll live to tell about it as it's booted away by Hughes.
As the Ehtar faithful start chanting, making some noise, getting behind their boys in white tonight. Love to see it.
The "We Are Ehtar" chant, a staple out here at Althoff Catholic High School.
Although it's funny, one of the ball retrievers out there is wearing an Inter Milan shirt, and he's got the Ehtar sticker over the center. So a little Inter Ehtar action going on tonight.
You gotta love it. Handball there on Columbia as that caught up and caught the arm of Samuel Apia. Anton. Right back from Nogenga. Pollock had it taken away. Sarahila working back for that one. And you mentioned that this Ehtar team kind of having to learn each other on the fly. It's not the same makeup as a team like this AFC Columbia squad that is over 50% Columbia College products. This Ehtar squad showing why they have such huge potential with the way that they have come together. And again, huge credit to their coach for that.
Oh, a huge credit to their coach. Good job recruiting. I know he brought over some players from St. Charles FC, a team that actually was right behind Peoria City in the USL2 standings, nipping at their heels all season long, and Peoria City ends up going on to be runners-up in the USL2 for the entire nation last year. So that's how good that St. Charles FC team was, and that's all under the leadership of Tim Mosby, guys like the Bartoni brothers coming over here. Those were St. Charles FC products. They came over here for a reason.
English out to Bartoni. Oh, and just knocked away from it as Hunt sends it over the bar. Again, it was a nice play by Toby Hughes. And you talk about that St. Charles connection, a former St. Charles Community College player here at Ehtar, Jack Schwerin. I had his game in USL2 action last weekend with the Ambush. He's playing for Sunflower State now.
Interesting.
And exactly. So it's all connected. All these guys know each other, and that's what makes this league fun, is there are these little rivalries that you might not even know about until you start to give some of this information, the history and the background. So many awesome connections, and that's what makes St. Louis soccer so much fun.
So a fun story for you. So Columbia, at the start of the year, one of their star defenders was a guy named Jackson Schrum. Jackson Schrum, Columbia College product, but he's originally from St. Louis. And a little funny moment. So he was announced as playing for Boffs this year. They did a whole Instagram post for Jackson Schrum, and then Columbia announced that Jackson Schrum was playing for them. And so he did start out the year with Columbia. He was their actually captain. He had the armband for the first game at Dev Academy. And a couple games later, he was, I guess, able to get out of his apartment lease in Columbia and go back to that home cooking in St. Louis. And luckily, both the owner for Boffs and Columbia get along really well, and we're able to work some out.
Mosley had it blocked right in front. It comes back out to English, who threw it in. boy, Gavin English has been so dangerous on those throw-ins for Ehtar. But again, Columbia just hanging around here down 2-0. If they can find a way to get one, you just never know. And we'll see if Ehtar can continue their dominance, looking for 2 consecutive shutouts.
Yep. But I know that's a case where I know a lot of Atletico players play for Columbia, or vice versa. You have players that tend to move around a little bit, just depending on the situation. Sometimes you do have a Jackson Schrum situation where he wants to go back to Boffs. He knows the owner of Boffs really well, and just felt more comfortable playing for them. Which, by the way, he was a Midwest Premier League record transfer fee. Want to guess what the transfer fee was?
Ooh.
To go from Columbia to Boffs?
At least $300,000.
No, a little less. It was $100.
That is funny. That's awesome, though.
But I love those stories like that in leagues like this. I mean, I know we're not exactly England, where they have over 100 years of lower league heritage here, but we're trying, Colin. We are trying.
You got to start somewhere, and you couldn't pick a place with a better foundation than St. Louis soccer to get that done. Right-footed in-swinger coming here from Rodriguez. Not quite enough underneath that one. Hunt will make him restart it, as it did threaten that near post from Rodriguez's perspective, and now he'll try it again. And these are dangerous when you get that second opportunity after you just had a look at it. Here it comes, a little more underneath this one towards the back post, and it goes over Pollock and company's head, out for an Ehtar throw. '60th minute action now here with a 2-0 lead for Ehtar. If you're just now joining us, it was the Luca Bartoni show in the first half. He had both finishes for Ehtar, and if you haven't been watching on Prepcast before, Bartoni, not only is his brother awfully talented, he went down with an injury in the Atletico game just a couple of days ago, which was really unfortunate to see. But we've told the story about the Bartoni's mother. Their mom is a Maryville GOAT.
Really?
The best player, unquestionably, ever to come through Maryville. How about these numbers for Mom? She is a Maryville Hall of Famer, 2-time SLIAC Player of the Year, 4-time first teamer in the SLIAC, 102 goals and 70 assists.
Wow, and how many games?
The game total I do not have, but it's got to be
That's ridiculous.
Over a goal per game.
It
right?
has to be easily over a goal per game, almost got to be almost an assist per game.
Just unbelievable numbers, and that's how you know Luca and Dom were destined for greatness.
Good pedigree.
And I'm sure Mom would tell them, I taught them everything they know. Hodgson through the middle for Luca. Bartoni through ball. Pollock couldn't quite get there. Hughes, another great stop. Just great instinct to come up enough to make that play.
Yeah, he needed to as well, because that ball was heading for a goal if he hadn't stepped up and made a play. I mean, to be fair, this Columbia goalkeeper, he's made some good decisions today. It's just that needs his defense to step up a little bit.
No question. And again, a fun storyline we've been kind of keeping track of. Vetter, a Blackburn product, as the shot is saved by Vetter. That Blackburn kid makes a huge play. As we get another look at it right here. The shot towards the post, and Vetter covers it. A couple of SLIAC members in between the pipes on both sides. Blackburn for Ehtar, and for Toby Hughes, starring at Westminster. He just graduated, a long-time mainstay in between the pipes for the Blue Jays.
So they've definitely been across the field from each other, more than a few times.
And Cheetah gets rid of it for Redford, excuse me. Yaya chasing in defense. Redford. And now a square ball over towards the sideline. Stepping up beautifully, Hodgson pouncing when the moment presents itself. Hodgson, a challenge. He'll play it out. It will be a throw-in for Columbia.
Ehtar really taking their foot off the gas pedal a little bit in the second half here, allowing Columbia to try to generate some offense here. It's been successful in a couple of times, just not clinical in their own end, but Ehtar smartly playing defense here.
English gets it back to Sargent. Now Mentor plays it over the touchline on the far side. And this is always an interesting dynamic to me, is what is that strategy after you build a dominant multi-goal lead in the first half? Do you keep that foot on the gas pedal? I would argue that Ehtar had so much success winning possession to go along with that dominance offensively that you would think, hey, let's not change anything. But this is very similar to the mold that we saw in that last game against Atletico, and we got to keep in the back of our mind that they're just 2 days removed from their last game.
That is very true. So, the legs, may not be fully fresh for a lot of the players that are out there for Ehtar. I know, someone like Boykin, for instance, probably played a lot against Atletico, Luca Bartoni, a few others. So, that could be affecting just the pace as well. It's just the fact that they're coming back off of such a short rest.
And, of course, with Dominic going down, that affects some of that depth and some of the options that you have to turn to. As Hunt sends one towards the 18. Nicely handled, though, by Columbia. Gibson flies in to get another touch on it, and that's going to go out for a corner kick for Ehtar.
Kicking it towards what appears to be a pretty nice sunset tonight.
Absolutely beautiful.
We've hit that time of year where you just get good sunsets night after night after night after night.
And a beautiful night just of weather, considering the scorching temperatures that we've had over the last 10 days or so. Things cooling off a little bit today. The humidity pretty high after some heavy rain that we got the other day. Yaya Nogenga will play it short. It's Gibson Hunt chipping it in. Oh, Mosley almost had that one set up for his teammate. Trying to see who that was. I believe it was Hodgson that almost had a look at it to put it in the net.
I believe you're right. It was Hodgson there, there to redirect the redirect. Would have been one of those kind of hockey goals where you, put it towards the net and, you're counting on a redirect or two to get it in. Just couldn't quite get the head and the foot on it.
Michael Hodgson, in his time at McKendree University, 60 starts in 72 games, 97 total hours on the pitch, and was an assistant coach on a team that went to a national semifinal last year. Talk a little bit about how valuable it is to have that kind of mind on the pitch for your team.
Oh, incredibly valuable. I mean, because, he's someone that, wants to go into the coaching world himself, so he's doing the work right now to be a leader, to be someone that, it's not just about having the experience. It's about also, being able to work with your teammates, be supportive, be a good teammate, and, he's, I'm sure Mosby's giving him a chance to, lead that back line.
And we've seen him move around in a number of different roles for this Ehtar team, willing to do whatever is asked of him. He's mucking it up near the 18 right here and able to win it over to Gavin English, who gets trampled on and draws the call.
And Hodgson, to be fair, is a midfielder, but he is playing pretty deep, almost in a 6 role right now for Ehtar, so that's why I kept calling him a defender, because
exactly.
he's got his defensive work boots on.
He was a star center back at McKendree. He has moved into even an attacking midfield position at times this year.
He was knocking on the door of that last corner.
Exactly. He's dropped into a holding midfield position, and what a luxury that if you're ever in a pinch, hey, drop that man into your back line, and you've got a 3-star backfield in terms of defense with Mosley and Mentor combining back there as well. Triple team that time was Boykin. He can beat that kind of defense sometimes, but not on this occasion.
And he's part of those Ehtar players in the first half that were flooding the box on those long throw-ins, those corner kicks, and really dominating in the air. I mean, Ehtar's got some big boys out there.
They sure do, and that has proven to be maybe their biggest advantage offensively is that size on the set piece. So physical and able to get to where they want to on the pitch. Centering attempt is knocked away that time by Mosley. Boykin trying to run underneath it, and Cheetah. That was a little bit of acting there, in my opinion.
So do we give him the Oscar for that?
He got the call, so I guess he earns the Oscar on in the way.
Yeah, the community theater level of Oscar, maybe.
Columbia on the restart. Lobo turned away by Boykin. Impressive play there by Adam. He'll let Hunt do the honors.
Ehtar really not in a hurry.
No reason to be.
Nope.
Luca Bartoni, good job to get it over to Boykin. Smith, a good play just to get it over the touchline. Otherwise, Boykin may have been off to the races.
Looks like we'll get sub coming in for Columbia on the far side. But, you know, one thing you mentioned about Columbia earlier was that they are so Columbia College-centric on their roster build-up. Meanwhile, if you go to an Ehtar game and you look across the field, you see those flags, you know, on the far side. Those aren't just there for decoration. They represent the nations that these players come from. I remember when I came here for the Boffs game, I talked to a player that hailed from Jamaica. And it's just so interesting to hear stories of how these players from these, you know, faraway exotic lands sometimes, like I see a few African flags out there, how they get here.
It has been impressive, and we talked about that quite a bit on our broadcast, that diversity and perspective, not only are you bringing different styles of the game together when guys can spread ideas of, hey, well, I've done this before, and maybe this could fit really well for our skill set and what these guys are capable of in that situation. And again, it goes back to having a guy like Michael Hodgson on the field and Coach Mosby at the helm. You can combine all of this knowledge, all of this experience to get what we're seeing right now. A 2-0 lead as the corner comes from Ehtar. An outswinger. Just missed. Jermaine Mentor, last year's goal-scoring leader for Ehtar, nearly had it.
Yeah, that was so close there again. Just didn't get the right direct on it. It was in the right direction, just ended up bouncing over that goal. And you have to wonder if maybe the artificial pitch maybe added a little bounce to that.
Yeah, no question. It is a quick, fast, bouncy surface here at Althoff Catholic High School, but it is very true,
yes,
and consistent, and I'm sure the players appreciate that.
They do, and it also suits Ehtar because this is a very quick team. We've seen them like to counter a lot, try to wreak some havoc on other defenses, not just Columbia's, but just in general. That's their style. And so, this field really suits Ehtar. I mean, not just for the players, but just for like the ownership and the all the volunteers and all the just everything works about this place.
Saw a quick look at our great crowd, and that didn't even do it justice as the long shot is vacuumed up by Hunter Vetter, because a lot of these fans are backed up right in front of us, and the camera can't quite get down to see everybody at the top row of these bleachers. It is packed.
It really is, especially just off to the left of us, as you can hear them making some noise.
Lights have taken effect here in Belleville, Illinois. And Ehtar looking to add another 3 points to their total and put themselves back in front of Boffs. Here is Boykin. Crossing attempt, and it's saved, but the rebound is saved again. English, a heel flick that is saved once more. Unbelievable that Columbia escaped that.
Unreal. And early candidate for man of the match is that Columbia goalkeeper because he had to stand tall on that one. Adam Boykin, we just talked about him a little bit ago, how fast he is, how much havoc that he can create, finding a man in the box and just could not quite put it away.
Gavin English, multiple opportunities, and Toby Hughes gets a hand from Gavin English. That's a really cool moment right there. Some appreciation shown by a couple of great players on just a tremendous play.
Yeah, as good as that goalie was, though, you got to think Gavin English, that one might eat him up a little bit.
No question. There have been a number of plays like that now for Ehtar. Although Columbia has not been able to get that first goal, they are still hanging around as Yaya Nogenga gets set to take the corner. Got a Columbia player coming off here. And if that's Jacob Moore, that is a significant loss. Can't quite see what the number is.
It looks like Jacob Moore. Jacob Moore, their club captain, their star player. If he's going to be out for a significant amount of time, that's going to be a big concern for Columbia down the stretch in a season that just has not gone their way, although he's standing at the sideline and he might be coming back in.
Here it comes from Nogenga swinging in. Comes to ground inside the box and cleared away. Sargent right back into the mixer. Are they on is the question. First contact. Oh, my gosh. The bicycle from Mentor went wide. That first contact came from Columbia. Big collision. AFC wanted the call. It did not come. And now back-to-back guys that might be going off for Columbia.
Yeah, so it looks like Jacob Moore, he's kind of hanging out by the bench area. I'm not sure he's going to be coming back. Jermaine Mentor, meanwhile, decided to take a ride on his Schwinn out there and, make some Egyptian Ehtar magic happen, as looks like the Columbia player is getting tended to right now.
Ehtar, if any of you are unfamiliar, that is Travis Smith on the ground right there. A nod to Southern Illinois being known as Little Egypt.
Yes.
And that is where you get the name Ehtar, which translates to warrior. And fitting that we got the soccer zombie with us. We got the mummy squad out here as well. Mummies and zombies, they get along great.
We're practically cousins. We are practically cousins at this point. But a fun fact, there were technically two Warrior FCs in the Midwest Premier League Gateway Conference because Warrior FC out of Iowa started the year in the Gateway North. They had to duck out early, unfortunately, so there can only be one Warrior FC left, and that is here in Belleville.
Lenoma FC leading the North in dominant fashion.
Very dominant fashion. They actually just got a win today because Pearl City did not have enough players to make the trek across Iowa to Omaha. So free 3 points for Lenoma, so it is very likely that the winner of the Gateway South will play Lenoma for the entire Gateway Conference.
Travis Smith being checked out over on that sideline as the ball is sent back to midfield where Boykin tries to make a play on it. Gibson Hunt will instead square it off into the middle for Michael Hodgson. Hodgson gets it out to Sargent with all kinds of room to work with. Sends an aggressive ball towards Bartoni. Ran up the back of Luca. It was a good play there. Looked like that was Rodriguez with a nice defensive touch. Run up this sideline by Appia. He sent it right into the foot of Mosley, and Anton draws the call. It looked like Anton was the one dragging down Appia, and he gets the benefit of the doubt.
It was mutually assured destruction on that, I think. It was, you're right, Anton looked like at first that he was kind of dragging Appia down with him, but then it looked like Appia got like an arm in his face, and that's what they are looking at right now. So kind of hard. It's hard to call that if you're a ref on on the defender. Because you're talking about, a ball that's going to be just outside the box for a free kick. More often than times than not, the benefit of the doubt goes toward the defender on those kind of 50-50 plays.
Yellow card has been distributed here, and I think it's going on Anton Mosley. So, indeed, the call does go against Ehtar. Now, the contact was initiated by Apia on that play, but the drag down, I think, earns the card there.
Yeah, and I was just talking about that. I mean, it looked from my vantage point, we're up here in the press box, that it should have been a foul on Anton, and unfortunately for Ehtar, that was the case.
Luis Anchita from a dangerous spot. This could be the opportunity that Colombia has been waiting for. Give way to Anchita. He puts it towards net. It pinballs around to ground. And now Gavin English, a chance to break out with it. Had it deflected towards Sargent. Tyler Sargent trying to run under it. He's got possession. Back towards Mosley. And Colombia will escape that potential counter chance.
Yeah, Columbia getting bailed out there. I mean, that was a really, really dangerous counter had Ehtar been able to connect a little better upfield.
Out over the far sideline for an Ehtar throw-in. Again, no hurry for Ehtar to get out there. It's Tyler Sargent going to retrieve it. Another SIUE Cougar.
Roll Cougs.
A lot of OVC representation on this Ehtar team. A couple of former Lindenwood products. Jermaine Mentor included in that company.
You love to OVC it.
You sure do. Right on cue.
That's their motto.
What a great ball by Noganga. And now Boykin with room to work in this near corner. Adam trying to make a move on, and he wins the corner.
Yet another corner for Ehtar, which is a testament to just how deep that they are getting into Columbia territory here. And in fairness for Columbia, they are able to, defend those balls in the box to, force those corners. But again, Ehtar, really potent in the box on these set pieces. A lot of size, and they use it well.
Yeah, coming out to take it once more. English right on top of the keeper, Hughes, who stands at 5'9". Oh, and another great chance at a header goes by the wayside. Try to throw it back in there. Instead, it's chipped off a hand. No call coming there. Gibson Hunt asking for it, but I believe a good no call. Apaya back into the middle of the field, and Jermaine Mentor comes back to win it. Columbia asking for a handball themselves, but basically the same exact play on both ends.
Yeah, if Ehtar could just be a little more clinical on those headers. Man.
They have had their chances, no question about that. Luca Bartoni has both goals for Ehtar. They both came in the first half. The first one in the opening minutes. Luca put his second one in the back of the net at about the midway point of that first half.
By the way, if you watch the Soccer Zombie vlog of this game, you'll get a close look at Luca Bartoni's goal celly on the first goal. Little Spider-Man action.
Got to check that out over on YouTube.
Yep, with the little web shooter action.
He's trying to get a chance to break that out one more time. Mosley. Luca was off, and so he lets it go all the way to Hughes.
I do have a hat, so I should probably warn the fans in front of me that if Bartoni does get that third goal, I might be throwing it. Still got hockey on the mind a little bit.
Why not? Gibson Hunt. Oh, goodness. Vetter had it skip over his foot. He's got plenty of room to recover, but all the way back to the 6 before he got to it. A little bit of a nervous moment.
Yeah, 82nd minute, job ain't done yet, so got to keep that focus up.
Ehtar had a 2-0 lead over Stars. Looked like they were cruising to a win in that one, and it was about an 80th minute goal that made things really interesting in that contest.
Well, no one will have a bigger nightmare story in that regard than Boffs this season. They led Development Academy 3-0 in week 3, and Dev Academy ended up winning 5-3.
Oh, my
5
goodness.
unanswered goals.
Unbelievable. Crossing attempt. Nice settle just outside the box, having to backtrack for it, but a good ball out wide. Centering attempt, Mentor got it away. It pinballs around and eventually cleared by Ehtar.
And so interesting after that game how Boff's fortunes have changed in this division. I mean, sometimes failure is our best teacher.
No question about that. And similar story for both of Boffs and Ehtar. You get those lumps out of the way early and try to gain steam going towards the playoffs and championship potential appearance for both of those squads.
That one goes out of bounds. But, yeah, you're right. And keep in mind, too, these are young players that are still developing. So, it actually does kind of benefit players to have, moments like that where they can learn from and improve. That's how you get better, is by going through challenges like that.
It's an Ehtar throw-up coming here. Gibson Hunt getting set to take it. But our referees waiting on some subs here for Columbia. Let's shout out these referees. Noah Stuckey, Adam Lohr, Lauren Teams, and Tyler Blair.
Very well called game so far. Nothing's gotten out of hand. Nothing's gotten chippy.
My goodness, we saw an absolute street fight in the last home game for Ehtar.
I saw that. That was the Dev Academy game, right?
Yes, it was.
Yep, it got a little spicy.
And the tone was set from almost the word go in that match. And I understand as a referee that you don't want to be the narrative. You don't want to necessarily make a bunch of calls. There were just so many plays that had to have a whistle that did not get one in that game. On both sides, I might be a little biased, but I'm trying to be objective here. I really think that Ehtar got the short end of the stick in that one. However, they emerged victorious, so all is well that ends in 3 points. Boykin gets it back to Peters. Good chance here for Ehtar as Bartoni comes back to get it to Hodgson. Hunt cutting it in. My goodness, he makes defenders look silly out there. Shot is saved. Another great one by Hughes.
Bit of a worm burner, but those have a way of finding eyes and getting into net, and Hughes with another good stop for Columbia.
Especially when you play on a surface like this, I think that is the ideal shot, essentially, because you take no chances of lifting it over frame.
No, and you're just like, even watching like this sequence here, how bouncy the ball is. I mean, you can't take any chances.
And that is typically something that coaches preach constantly, is playing the ball to the feet. Not having those bouncers makes it so much easier to execute what you're trying to get done. English sends it along the sideline. It's Noganga coming for it. Noganga playing at Southwestern Illinois College for Lindsay Eversmeyer, the St. Louis Soccer Hall of Famer, one of very few coaches in the entire country at the helm of a men's program.
It's very impressive, and of course, we in the Midwest Premier League, we do have a female coach ourselves. Ali Condor of Club Atletico is an assistant for Club Atletico, and very cool seeing women getting opportunity on the men's side.
Peters out for Hunt. Oh, that's dangerous. Tried to get it to Peters, but he did not get on the same page as Gavin English. I'm surprised English wasn't looking towards net.
Oh, bad turnover.
Boy, bad one here as Luca Bartoni gets it back to English, who scampers back onside, looking for Peters. He's shielded off just enough for Toby Hughes to come out and make another outstanding play. And when you've gotten as much work as Toby Hughes has in this game, he has been able to find a rhythm. His confidence is sky high right now.
Oh, absolutely. He hasn't allowed a goal in a while, but he's also doing a really good job of, taking command out there, taking risks, getting out there to stop those balls from becoming problems.
Little jersey tug they play on as Gavin English continues to win the possession up the far sideline. Now he backtracks and finds his man Yaya over for Peters. Alex. Boykin, good job to keep it alive over to Hunt. Gibson looking to put a move on. He's already left a couple of defenders in his dust. They switch it over to the far side. Hodgson keeping it moving. Sargent back to Michael. Michael towards net. Boykin got ahead to it, but it just went wide. It's going to be a corner kick. Last deflected off of Columbia. And now subs coming on for both sides.
So Hughes is one of the shorter goalkeepers in our league right now. So the question becomes, okay, how can you make yourself bigger? I mean, because you're not going to find any human growth hormone, at this stage of the game. So what you have to kind of be assertive, and you have to go out and you have to be kind of disruptive a little bit, almost like a sweeper keeper.
Well, they'll wait on the totality of those subs. We get one for Columbia as I believe it's Boykin over there set to take this corner.
Ehtar substitutions into the game. Number 7, Mohammed the Mo Hamid, and number 10, Melo Mensah.
Mo comes to play it short. Now the cross comes, and a nice job by Smith to send it out of there for the time being. Mosley trying to get to it, and Hughes underhanded. He grabs it about shoulder high. A bit of an awkward play, but he made it work once again. And we're into the 90th minute now.
Don't expect a lot of stoppage time. There hasn't been a whole lot of long breaks.
Dangerous play right there. And another athletic play made by our ball boy. He just needed a little help on the other end.
Actually, I believe that was one of our esteemed drummers down by the drum.
Oh, my goodness. Another miscue by Columbia and an inopportune time.
So the balls that we are playing with today are actually AFC Columbia's.
Oh, interesting.
So St. Louis Development Academy, if you've ever been to their field, they have a little problem where balls tend to get lost in the woods on the north end of the field. And so
where do they play?
They play at Ladue West, the fifth grade center, Becky Sauerbrunn Field. And there just is not a lot of fencing or anything around the field. So long balls that go to the north end of the field, they just disappear in the woods. And unless you have a machete, you're probably not going to go in those woods and find. Yeah, and spoiler alert, if you guys want a Midwest Premier League ball, an official Midwest Premier League ball, go to Ladue West and go into the woods, and you'll probably walk away with about a dozen.
Got a yellow card coming here to the Mo NATO. Don't want to get caught in that one.
Yeah, the Mo NATO, one of the longtime Ehtar players. So I really like that. I know Tim Mosby, he's brought his players in, and obviously they're playing really well. They're about to get yet another win and back on the top of the Gateway South here. But I'm glad that you still have players like, Mohammed that can, come back year after year, and another one of those veterans that can help the youngsters out.
So you want to make changes to the culture, obviously positive ones, but you want to maintain consistency at the same time, and Ehtar has been able to do that in impressive fashion. And as this one winds down, let's go ahead and give you that upcoming schedule for Ehtar. They're going to go on the road for their next two contests at Boffs. That'll be a 4 p.m. start on Sunday, July 13th. Then another road game at Stars, 7 p.m., Friday, July 18th. And then just 2 days after that, the final home game of the regular season versus Club Atletico, a 1 p.m. start slated for Sunday, July 20th. And when you look at the standings, you couldn't line it up any better for that finishing stretch for Ehtar. You want to be the best, you got to beat the best.
So the top 4 teams in the league right now are Ehtar, Boffs, Atletico, and Stars. And on that July 20th date, you have all 4 teams playing each other. And they all start at different times as well. So I believe Ehtar starts at 1 and Boffs is playing at 5. The script writers could not have wrote that any better.
I was going to say, shout out schedule makers. They must be psychics as well. Gibson Hunt just trying to run out the remainder of this stoppage time. Just about 3 minutes into it. All the way back to Hughes. And Columbia just doesn't have the time to play this way. Gibson Hunt trying to secure that second consecutive shutout for Ehtar. A win would move them to 16 points, 1 greater than Boffs, ahead of their showdown coming up again, 4 p.m. Sunday, July 13th. So back-to-back games, now a long time off for Ehtar. They will be fresh, rested, and ready to go for that marquee matchup.
And so just about every other team as well, because every other team is getting a long break as well. And, what a great way to finish off the season with fresh legs and players hungry for that title.
It'll be a furious finish, that's for sure. And again, if you've never made your way out to one of these Ehtar contests, you have got to get to Belleville for that Sunday, July 20th game. Between the food, between the entertainment, and most of all, in my opinion, just the great people. It makes it such a tremendous place to take in some soccer out here at Althoff Catholic with Ehtar. Another foul called here against Columbia. And we might get one more late booking. Just a stern talking to instead.
And maybe more importantly for Ehtar as well, is this is going to be a free kick in a pretty dangerous spot, basically a baby corner kick. And we saw in the first half how potent they were on those corners, but it looks like they're going to play it short.
Going to beg the question, do they look for the icing on the cake? They'll play keep away in the corner instead. And that will do it. Back-to-back 2-0 wins for Ehtar. They remain atop the Gateway Conference South standings. What a performance from Ehtar.
Ehtar FC.
Beautifully done by this Ehtar squad. They build that 2-0 lead behind a couple of Luca Bartoni goals early, and they glide to the finish line with another great win and 3 more points for Ehtar here in Belleville. Peters, Mentor, and company congratulating one another on another hard-fought win. And, of course, we're always thinking about that man right there, Patrick Hulling, in our thoughts, in our prayers, in our hearts. And, again, we know he's here in spirit, and he would be awfully proud of what this Ehtar team is doing right now. A 2-0 win for Ehtar as they take it over Columbia. I'm Colin Surrey, my partner here, the Soccer Zombie on YouTube. Tom, appreciate you joining us today. It's been a lot of fun.
Absolutely. It's always a lot of fun at Ehtar. This division is so much fun. Got a lot of great games still to come after this 4th of July break. I almost feel bad we're taking a break because this has been electric.
You just want to keep it going once you get a taste of how much fun this league has been. Big shout out to our cameraman, Sam Murin, bringing you all the awesome shots that we saw here today. Again, one last time we'll be with you here from Althoff Catholic. That is 1 p.m. Sunday, July 20th. But before that, a couple of key road matchups for Ehtar. At Boss, 4 p.m. Sunday, July 13th. At Stars, 7 p.m. Friday, July 18th. A 2-0 win over AFC Columbia. Ehtar gets it done in first place as they head along to that Big Boffs matchup. A happy 4th of July to all of you as we say so long from Althoff Catholic.